lay the foundation. It doesn't mean you're just coming empty-handed. Both of you have
Exactly.
foundation.
Because a person is rich does not mean that he has financial sense. It does not mean that he can manage that riches.
There's maintenance. Nobody wants to come and suffer. Even you yourself, you need maintenance.
So to say, oh, suffer together, grow together, and weeping may endure for the night, joy comes in the morning. I believe all of those, you know. With the economic situation.
Maybe just move towards that side.
With the economic situation.
Hello everyone, welcome to Truth and Tales podcast, where we talk about faith, relationship, self-development, and trending issues.
Yeah.
My name is Yemi, and my co-host is
Victoria.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about hard work or rich husband. Yes, that's it. And Victoria is just going to roll it in. She is going to roll it in, and she's going to give us the truth of the day. So, Victoria, spill it.
Yeah, I am really excited about this one.
Me too.
No, man cannot kill himself.
Okay.
Anyways, so I'm just going to be reading the truth for the day. So the truth of the day today is a quote that we found on people discussing whether to marry rich or to work hard, okay? And the quote says, women who choose financially savvy partner fare better than their female counterparts who don't, okay? So we are going to analyze this statement to see, you know, marrying for money, do I need to work hard? Like, anyways, yes, Yemi, over to you.
That's really interesting because who wants to suffer? Please. Do you know a lady, a woman, or even a man who wants to suffer? Everybody, right? Everybody wants to relax.
Want to make it and be taken care of.
I tell you, that's why it's an interesting topic.
I don't come this life to suffer. Hey, if I follow politician, that song just came to my head.
I'm telling you, because
nobody came life to suffer.
If you don't know what that song says, it means suffering is not a pot of soup that you're gonna be drinking. It's not omiobe. It's not a pot of soup. I mean, is it a bowl of soup now or a plate of soup or what now?
A pot of soup, all of them.
But basically, suffering is not food. It's not something that you can, you know, it doesn't help you thrive in life. It doesn't help you grow. It adds nothing to you. So it's not a pot of soup. You don't need it to survive. We're just going to be talking about hustle, work hard, or rich husband. And I have a question for you. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for this?
All right. I'm ready.
Do you think, in your own opinion, just a general opinion, not what you did, okay? Because everyone knows we are both married, right? But I'm not talking about what you did, to get married, but just your general opinion. Maybe before you even got married, do you think it's advisable or it's okay or it's better to marry or date rich as opposed to working hard or hustling together with a man? What's your own opinion?
Well, just like you said there, my dear, all this beauty, now money now. Your mom will say, better do overlopa, that is a sweet soup. It's money that kill it. It's money that made it sweet. But all jokes aside, though, marrying rich or hustling, I think I'll be somewhere in between. Okay, I don't want to marry rich. I take that back. I take it back. Marrying rich is good. If you find a rich man, you have made it.
You have made it.
Well, but not all the time, actually. Not all the time. Not in all cases. But anyways, okay, all jokes apart. Okay, I think, like I said, yes, I am somewhere in between. Of course, I'm not, even whilst before when I was dating, I was never a type to be looking for a rich man. Like, if you are not rich, if you are not having a car, or you don't have a house, or you don't have mansion, or you don't have millions in your account, then please don't talk to me. I've never been one of those girls. Okay. I've always believed in having my own. Like, not necessarily hustling and suffering. I don't believe in suffering and hustling. I believe in favor. From God, okay? So, however, of course, I like to have my own. Not necessarily because marrying a rich husband is bad, but I feel like there's certain kind of self-respect that comes with having your own money. You have yours. I don't want to marry a poor man. Okay, you have yours. I have mine. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong in marrying a rich husband. Okay. But I don't want to be. I generally just don't want to be the person that is laid back because I have a rich husband. No, somewhere in between. Rich, high, rich is not really. It's not really something that I was ever after. I was mostly after a life partner, not necessarily what your today is, because of several reasons that I'll be discussing. I don't want to go into that right now. Because, how about you?
Yeah, because for now it's just your general opinion. Because I don't want you to spill all the juice. Just let them be sipping it gradually.
Just
they can't gulp it down at once. They can't gulp it down at once. But anyway, for me,
okay.
For me, I think I would also lean into your own idea. Of just being somewhere in between. But I think to a certain level, I will tilt more towards. I know. Please don't judge me. Nobody should judge me. Please don't judge me.
This is a free space. We are not judging you. We are not judging you. You've already said it in the last episode that one of your criteria was a rich man. So we already know.
Really? I'm going to tilt towards dating or marrying rich. Because let's say on a scale of, let's say if it's 100%, I'm going to be 60-40. 60 to to marry rich, date rich, and then 40 is going to be hustling together. And that's because I don't know.
That's still healthy though.
I don't know. Generally, I think it's a thing of your background. I don't know if, like I said, this is just my own general opinion. I think it has to do with where you're coming from. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know how to put this. I just don't know how to say this, but I just know that I'm tilting more towards this.
You're rich now. Who want to die? Who cares to like the work?
And it's just because I've seen people, I've heard cases, I've seen examples of people that they suffered together, they started, they hustled together, but eventually it didn't pay anybody. Like both of them did not really enjoy the suffering together. Yeah. And then I've also seen people that, money affected the relationship. You could tell that these two people, they are good together. They're compatible, but then money just played a major role into how the relationship fell apart. I don't know if that makes sense. I've seen people that money affected the strength of the relationship. Let me put it that way. I just felt like if they were if they were in a safe space, if they were in a safe zone in terms of their finances, maybe they wouldn't have broken up. That's just, I've seen people like that money just affected the relationship, and so I just didn't want to be. I don't like to be in that space. I also have this idea that there should be a level of work that you must have done for yourself before we, merge, before we come together.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like, if I'm dating to get married, I feel like before we met, you must have gone through a particular phase. You must have gone through stages of your life that where you are now, you should have at least done something for yourself. At that stage, I'm no longer marrying for, I'm no longer dating for just dates to play. I'm not dating in high school. I'm not dating in uni. And if we started dating in uni, of course, it's not going to be for money. But if I start to date at a matured stage, maybe while I'm working, I don't expect to date someone who is just starting from scratch. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean?
Definitely.
I feel like all the while down to the stage that you are, you should have done something. You should have moved a step higher from ground zero that I would have to hustle with you. If that makes sense. So I'm going to tilt more towards that side. Of course, it's just my general opinion depending on the stage that I meet you. But now,
with the economic situation,
let me just move towards that side. With the economic situation, baby girl.
Who has to help my sister? There's a trend going on Instagram right now, like a trend in Nigeria. It's in Yoruba, like Ashe Juni businesswoman, abi independent woman. Ìyàwó ọ̀gá ló ṣojú. Do you know what that means? Like when you are saying you're a businesswoman, it's ashamed. What is ashamed in English? It's over sabi. I don't know if you understand. You're doing too much. Hey, when you are saying you are claiming independent woman, that is your work, the boss's wife. That's what is the main thing. It's sweeter in Yoruba. I don't know. You understand?
That's where the power lies.
Yes, like I'm the Oga's wife. That's what is reigning right now. I actually saw it before we started this video. I saw that video. I laughed. So yeah, I think yes, just like what you said. Nobody wants to suffer. True. I also, at the level that I even got married, I mean, I wouldn't want to marry someone that is still in ground zero or is still trying to find his feet and all of those things. Even though, you know, especially as Christians, especially, and I want to address this actually, you know, we are taught that, you know, money should not be a reason why you should. Now you sabi. Anyways, you know, we are brought up to say, suffer together, grow together. In the days of lack, weeping may endure for the night, joy comes to the morning. I believe all of those, you know. I believe that, you know, weeping will endure, joy will come. I believe we should build together, but I don't think we should start to build together from scratch. Yeah. When you're single and you know that financially you are not able to feed yourself, you have no business bringing somebody's daughter into that poverty.
Thank you.
That is my own.
Thank you.
And it goes the same way as ladies also. You don't have, all you do is sit down, you just finish school, you graduate, you sleep on the bed, you don't want to do any work. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be there financially, like have millions in your account and all of that. Majority of us never did. We never had those. However, you should have something you're doing, something that you are able to feed yourself. You are able to, morning food, afternoon food should not be a problem. You might not have the money to buy the Gucci bags or even buy clothes every month or every day, but at least you have money to eat. You have money to take care of yourself. You're able to pay your bills, you know. Yeah. So I think that, yes, we should come together to build, but I don't think it's inside the marriage. We should now start building, especially financially, from the foundation. No, I should have, you know, have some level of financial stability. It doesn't have to be over the top. My husband too should be able to have his financial stability, that is able to feed himself and be able to join one more person to him. As a man, at least you may not be able, at least just be able to feed yourself and be satisfied before you decide to bring somebody else into that picture. So that has always been it for me. But that you know, there's nothing, you know, you are still living in a, don't even let me give examples so that people will not say, oh, I'm discriminating. But honestly, I don't see why you are still living in, you know, a face me I slap you, one room, not even self-contained, no, one room that you still use the toilet outside. Like, I don't know. Maybe there are some women, and you said something about levels, you know, the level I am and the level you are. A man that is living in the face me I slap you, one room, tight corner apartment cannot come and approach me. You will not even come, because when you see me, you will not even fear of God will catch you now. I mean, you are supposed to mojuko morana. You're supposed to know I and nobody.
You're supposed to check the person you are going to meet. You have to assess, right?
Yeah. Exactly, and assess yourself. So yeah, so that's what I mean. I believe in building together. I believe in building things together, but we can build our empire together as we are married. We can build, we can lay the foundation and come together as married people and start to build on that foundation that we have laid individually, than to come into the marriage and start to dig the ground from foundation. No, please. Dig that, do all of those your assignments before the wife comes, you get. So yeah. Or the husband comes. I totally
honestly, I feel you. In fact, we need to take high five on this, and I feel you on what you're saying. Like, no. You're not going to expect. You cannot even feed yourself. You can't eat comfortably, and you want to bring it. And you have no. You don't have any reason to date. Like, just stay by yourself. Don't come and inconvenience anybody's child.
Yes, now.
You know, because. Look at the person you're talking to. There's maintenance. Nobody wants to come and suffer. Even yourself, you need maintenance. You as a man or a woman, you need to maintain yourself. You need to be sane, you know? And there are certain things that make you sane. You need to eat. You need to appear good. You need to... All these things affect your confidence, and you need a level of confidence first. So that's maintenance. before you now have to maintain another person. I think you understand. I think you do understand. But anyway, yeah.
I mean, I should be a better person. Even the Bible, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Even the Bible says that one will chase 1,000, two will chase 2,000.
Thank you.
Okay, so it means that even as I am like this, I may not be able to do much, but when we come together, we should be better. Someone should see me after I'm married and say, you are glowing. Not that they see me as a CC and then I'm married and, everything just dive deep. No, it shouldn't be like that, because let's not be quoting the part of Bible that suits us or that suits our mediocrity or the level that we want to belong to. Let us quote the Bible the way it should be. You get the same Bible that say weeping endure or whatever also says that one will chase 1,000, two will chase 2,000. I'm telling you, when we come together, we are supposed to
level
upgrade, not the two of us we are now our koti our bawa. No. Anyways, you were saying something.
I told them they're going to be sipping it. They're going to be sipping it. It's not something they will gulp that once.
What's the name?
You said something about building. I like what you said about people misinterpreting the word of God and just use it to live a mediocre life. And I strongly believe that when you're in a relationship, marriage generally for me is about building. You are building something together. You are committed to building a life together. You're building something together. And so of course, when you're building, for both of you, you're going to put your hands together to start from the foundation. But it means that both of you are coming with resources to lay the foundation. It doesn't mean you're just coming empty-handed. Both of you are foundation.
I like
you are not coming to you're coming with resources to build, and it doesn't mean that one person's your resources should be 50-50. It doesn't mean that one person might have more than the other person, but you both are just committed to building together, and you're bringing in your all resources. Nobody's coming in empty. Marriage is not so. Basically, marriage, relationship need money to survive. It needs it. So it's not a matter of whether you're married rich or hustling. If you've chosen to hustle with the person, or you've decided that we're going to start from ground zero, but no, sorry, I take that back. No, not ground zero. If you have decided that you're going to do things together, just make sure that you are coming
resources,
with something. And that's why it's important that, we also talk about self-development here. That's why you as a person to try your best to do something for yourself. It doesn't mean that you will not go and meet somebody that has more than you, right? But at least try your best to do something. But money is important in a relationship.
It really is.
In a marriage setting, it is quite important.
It is. You mentioned that friend that and then they had issues in the marriage because of money or no money. In as much as we have faith, in as much as we trust and believe in God, in as much as we are all, we also, you don't go into marriage with an illusion that everything is going to be all right. But, marriage will face trial. So I don't want it to seem like we're coming here to tell you that, if the man does not have anything, just abandon him and stuff like that. Like I said in the previous video, marrying the will of God is the most important thing, okay? Unless God is directly, and I believe that God loves us so much. Like, we are God's children. God did not call us to come and suffer in this life. Like, God will not see a pit and say, that's where gone, you should go and enter. Unless God already has a hook there that he's going to lift you up from. You get. So yes, there will be times in your marriage, and we are not speaking like we are oblivious of seasons in marriage. There will be seasons in marriage where there might be nothing. There might be times that your husband you don't have. Calamity can befall. So many things happened in marriage. We get that part, but we are saying that as you are about to enter into it, you need to enter into it with your two eyes open. You need to know what you're about to get into. And money is very important. You get. Money is very, is it not the Bible that says, money is the tool of evangelism?
In fact, that's the
I don't know where this Yoruba adage is coming from.
Of happiness.
Yes, it is a tool, you get. So you need to make sure that you know for sure what you are getting into. You discuss each other's financial situation. Before I got married, I knew exactly how much my husband was earning. He knew exactly how much I was earning. There was no secret about what was that, what was this. Yes, was he earning as much as I expected or as I dreamed of that my future husband is going to earn? No, he was not. But I knew at least he was able to take care of himself. If we both join our finances together, we can build a good life. You get? So that's what is most important.
I remember that some months ago, or a few weeks ago, or a few days ago, it depends on the time somebody's watching that particular show. Blue therapy was a trendy, it was trending, you know? Those two
it
couples.
is trending.
And then I want to just talk about I want to talk about the other couple, Deborah and the other guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but not the notorious couple, the stubborn, naughty couples that we know. The other couple, and then with those couple, you could tell that Deborah really wanted, for her relationship, she really wanted a guy who was man enough, you know. She wasn't cut out for, like, she wasn't even ready to suffer. She wanted somebody who was rich, like somebody who could afford to buy her the best of the best. Like, she wasn't even joking. And then she also said that she was treated like a princess, where she was coming from, like her dad treated her like a princess. So that's the standard she knows. So she expects that the person she's in a relationship or eventually get married to will treat her that way, you know. So it was. So I want to ask you, like, what do you think about standards, and how does it affect the relationship? Like, your experience is your standard. For example, where you're coming from, how do you think it affects your standard in relationship? Maybe the experiences you had with your parents, you know. What do you think about it, and how can you relate to that? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just,
I can. I can absolutely.
Want to drink?
I'm coming to you too. Anyways, I can absolutely relate, and I think everyone can relate to that, but maybe not in the same level, because personally, I didn't grow up in a wealthy family. I grew up in a family that they have to, you know, morning food. If you see morning food, glory be to God. Wow. You get 10 naira to go to school. Look it. I'm not joking, no. When you come back in the afternoon, there's always gari. Gari is the standard in the afternoon. Now, whether there'll be sugar or there'll not be sugar, you know, it now depends. If there's sugar, you take. If there's no sugar, you drink your gari like that. If God now blessed you, did that God really butter your bread and sugar your tea? There's granuts. You know that you have made it in life. You get. Wow. So yeah, that was the kind of background I grew up in. Wow. And to be honest, just like Deborah, who grew up in everything and, you know, she cannot accept anything below, I also, growing up in that kind of depravity, made a promise to myself that my children will never have to go through this, because I know how living like that, I know how it affected me intellectually, because when your stomach is hungry, forget it. Whatever they are teaching you in school, they would just, and that's why they used to beat me very well in school. It's not because I was not intelligent. The way I knew that was okay, well, don't let me jump the gun. But what I'm saying is that when you are hungry, when the child is hungry, anything you are teaching is entering 1 year, is going out in the left ear, because there's hunger in the stomach. Okay? How I knew this to be true was, you know, thankfully, our family situation began to improve. You know, as I moved to the university, like, I can't remember a day that I was ever hungry. I always had food in my house. Like, God came through for us as time progressed. That was when I knew that, I am smart. I'm intelligent. It's hunger. It's hunger. My sister is hunger. I came out with the first class in the university. The degree the highest degree I ever had
can we just in
secondary and primary school.
No, let's stop that. No.
This is not about that.
That's not going to slide. We're going to clap. You know. Okay, carry on.
It's okay. I should do 4.
Carry on.
The first degree the highest score I ever left primary or secondary school with was maybe 18 or 16. Out of 30 something. That was the position I was always somewhere in the middle. That's for you to know that it wasn't because I was not smart. There were just a lot of factors that I just could not concentrate because of the financial situation of my family. So knowing that, I know the kind of life I want my children to live, and that's why from beginning I've been striving to ensure that, you know, I'm able to have a good job. I'm able to build my career as early as possible, so that my children don't have to go through what I went through. So imagine now getting married to a man that, you know, the money you don't have, ambition you don't have, vision you don't have. You just like to live life mediocrely. It will not happen. Kole shele. I personally, you asked about, my own personal financial, our financial situation before we got married. It was not great, to be honest. It was just average, to be honest. It was not great. It was not great. In short, it was just 1 point for it to drop from average. Okay, but God has been faithful anyways. But when I just met him, it was not making millions, it was not making couples of hundreds of thousands, but he had enough that I knew that if he marries me and I choose not to work, we will still be okay. We might not be comfortable, but we'll be okay. And then, but I also knew I'm bringing something into the marriage, and we are going to, it was going to help us in the long run. But the man I also married is a man that has vision, is a man that will tell you, like, his drive, that he's driven towards something. It was never just about it was so I don't know. Definitely your background has a lot to do with it. So I never want, in my life, what I fear the most is for my children to ever have to go through the same thing I went through. No, it can never even happen. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Amen. Amen.
So how was it? What do you think about it? How was it?
You are just dropping gems. And one gem I don't want it to, for us to forget. We're going to milk that later. It's that there has to be a vision. Even if even if you choose now to hustle, but there has to be a vision, and you are going to explain. You have some explanation to do. But anyway, so for me, I totally agree that, of course, your background, where you're coming from, has a lot to do with how you would choose when it comes to money in your relationship. For me, I didn't experience that. It was not like opposites, because we're not rich, we're not rich. But I would say we're average. We're not really comfortable. Yeah, we're comfortable. Like, we were very comfortable. And if I say very comfortable now, it will seem like if we're very comfortable, but we're just comfortable.
Yeah.
It wasn't that extreme. I didn't witness that. My dad has more than one wife. It's not just my mom. So, but all my mom and even my stepmoms, they didn't really have a high-paying job. Do you get? It was mostly my father's money that we used to survive. They were working. My stepmom is a teacher. But my mom was not really working. My mom was a hairstylist. She was a hairstylist. She didn't really. It wasn't like she was doing something, but she didn't have. It wasn't our income that we're using to sustain the family, basically. So I grew up seeing my dad fund the family. He worked hard to fund the family school fees. From the mothers were just supplementary. So I had this perception that, men do most of the financial, men take the responsibility. But also, it also made me really, I'm like, no, the women should do more. You should bring much more to the table, because
more to the table.
When a man is doing everything, there are certain things that you can't say as a woman. There are just certain things that you just have to keep quiet about. You wanted certain things, you just have to wait till the provision, comes for you. So I didn't like that. As somebody that I don't know where this my spending culture started from. I just like to spend money. So I was like, I really do not want this to be me. So if I'm going to be married, if I get married, I don't want to not contribute in the home. I just want to bring something to the table. But unfortunately, at the time I got married, I didn't have a job. I wasn't working, So it so happened that there was nothing I was bringing to the table. Financially, there was nothing I was bringing to the table. So he had more. Although, just as he said, he wasn't a millionaire. He wasn't earning millions. It was just a guy making, earning. So he could sustain it himself. If in the process, I get pregnant, he could take care of me, take care of a baby. We're just comfortable. He was just comfortable. But then, there were certain privileges I had from my comfortable home that I just don't want to go below that. For example, when I was still in my dad's house with my parents, even though I hadn't gotten a job, I wasn't working then, I could still fund going to parties. Do you get? I could still afford to buy Ashwebi with my friends and just, you get, you know it. I could still afford to travel. I could just go home and tell them, okay, please, I need this amount of money. Even though it's not like they give me pocket money, but you could ask. I could ask for, okay, I need to buy a handbag, I need to buy this, and they will give you. Of course, my father was really strict, but you have that privilege to ask for, money and all. So there was a standard that I just like, it shouldn't be that bad. By the time I entered the marriage, you get it shouldn't be that bad. So of course, that was there. So I would not even think of getting married to somebody that's not capable. Do you get? So I wasn't even looking out for somebody who is just starting from ground zero. It can't happen. It can't happen because my spending habits cannot even accommodate it. I wasn't really that bad, but I just know I like to spend money. So I cannot even just accommodate somebody that I don't even have enough to, Of course, I had to cut down, when you go married. That's just one of the things you do when you're starting your own home, you're building, but I didn't have anything to bring to the table and at the time, so I just could not spend so much. But then I wanted to get married or be in a relationship with somebody that I would not have to go so low, like it won't affect me that much that I would just now look at myself and regret, leaving my father's care or leaving my house and then getting married. So it wasn't that bad. So yeah, money is really important, and yes, your background does affect, how you choose in terms of hustling or marrying or dating.
So yeah, just like you said, just not wanting to live below a certain level, you get. Even with that, we still, and thank God, God has been faithful ever since, after a few months of God, what's happening, things eventually began to look up. And that brings me back to my point on, we are not saying that, even if you marry rich, and that's the thing, especially for people who go into marriage because, the man is rich. Because the person is rich does not mean that he has financial sense. It does not mean that he can manage that riches.
Good.
If money is the only reason why you married the man to begin with, what happens if there's a bankruptcy? What happens if economic said that happened? There are so many millionaires before COVID. When COVID hit, many millionaires came down. So what will you do if you find yourself in that situation? So yes, it's good to marry a financially stable man, but yes, marriage is a long time, is a lifetime. So many events would happen. So money cannot be the only reason why I'm with this person, because there was this story my husband actually sent to me on Twitter about a lady who married a pilot who lost his job.
Yeah, I think I read that.
It's also right. Yeah. My husband sent me that. When he sent, like, look at all the hurdles they had to pass through. This is a person that they had separate cars, they had chefs, they had servants and everything, and they had to move to ground zero. Imagine. So stuff like that are going to happen. But imagine if the money was the only thing keeping the lady in the marriage. The marriage would have crumbled. And in short, it happened just when they gave birth to their first child. So imagine all those issues. So yes, marriage will come with its own difficulty. But that if money is the only reason you're going into it, what happens when those difficulties will come? Because trust me, even the Bible says that surely, there will be afflictions will come and stuff like that. Unless you marry a what do they call them? There's this name they call them. Fund, is it fund? Why you don't have it? How will you know? Something fund, Sha. Those people that their parents they have portfolios of, they can never be poor. Someone like the Gates children now, or Dangote's child.
Can you introduce me?
Your third generation, fourth generation can never be poor. So if you are lucky enough to marry to that family, all right. But if you marry a CEO, anything can happen to the business. Anything will happen. So, yeah, that's why it's important that as a woman, you have your own skill. You have something you're bringing to the table, so that when one is down, imagine when we enter into the marriage and I wasn't earning, but he was earning, we're able to. When we were dating, there was a time that my husband lost his job. Just this, I'm telling you, it's just maybe 1 year into us dating. Not even that we have dated for long. So if money was the only reason, I would have left him during that period, because how many years? We have not even entered 1 year. So what's keeping me? But at that point, I had to take up some, even though he would not allow certain things, he was taking a few jobs here and there because of a man and stuff. But I knew, what I also had to sacrifice. So that's what marriage is. There should definitely be a balance. But at the end of the day, that time that he lost his job, I think this will even be key here. That time he lost his job, we were planning our wedding. We had to put the wedding on hold. because he knew for a fact I cannot get married to a person without having a job. You know, it don't, because why? When we get there, what will be eaten? You get. So we had to put it on hold. You get. So that's the way it is. You should have something, at least something to say that, okay, oh, every month, even if it's 5,000, 10,000 naira, we have something that the two of us can be able to, you know, live at least, even if not comfortably, we are okay with each other. So yeah, that was it for me. Some people, like Chioma now, if you marry a lady like her, and that's why you need to know the kind of person you're marrying. If you marry a lady like her now that is Gucci bag, Chanel, and the rest of it, I didn't know what Chanel was until a few years back. I didn't know what Gucci was. I heard it in a song.
That's not Chioma. Chioma is the other relationship. That's
sorry, not Chioma.
What's her name?
Deborah. Yeah. Imagine her. I didn't know what Chanel. It was in short, when Wizkid released that song, sitting on the corner, don't worry, Gucci and Gabbana. I thought Gucci and Gabbana was somebody's name. That's how local I was. I didn't know that it was a brand. So I remember I was asking a friend that, who is Gucci and Gabbana? Is he a friend of what's he? May we not see poverty in our life, but yeah, it's you know something I also say. You know, you have to also envision the future that you want for your children, and it will help you to know the kind of man you're marrying. Vision is very important. Ambition is important. Drive is important.
Yeah, I was even going to come back to what you said about vision the other time, because it's very important. Now, as much as we want to say, okay, make a choice between marrying rich or dating rich and, you know, hustling, you know, as much as we are, you know, we would like to say, okay, pick one of the side, we cannot remove the key point here, which is vision and which is potentials or whatever, because there's also this school of thought that should you marry for potentials or marry for what you see right now, and you know, vision is very important. Vision is not even about potentials, what you see the person have. This is that potentials can be there and somebody is not really ready to act on it, you know. So vision is much more powerful. It's much more powerful. When someone has a vision, they want to see it come to life. Like, it's more compelling than, you know, just saying he has the potential, he has the capacity. I have the capacity doesn't mean that I want to act on it. So yeah, what you said on vision is very powerful. Yeah. And I think it's very important because, like I said, for me, I did not want to be a liability. Not necessarily, I don't want to use the word liability. I did not want to be solely dependent on my partner, on my husband for the finances in the relationship. I wanted to be able to contribute, but I just couldn't. And I remember that even though I wasn't bringing anything financially to the table, I remember it was at that moment, even before where we're in the relationship, he would always tell me that I'm not living up to my potential. In fact, he was the first person to say that to me ever. So it was always saying that there are things that you can do. He knows there are things that you can do beyond you not bringing something to the table. So there was much more inside. That's like, in the future, if the need arises, there's something that we can monetize from you. Like, you have the capacity to monetize something and you have that drive to want to do it. So I just knew that I didn't want to be not contributing in the relationship, but I couldn't at the time. At the same time, I also saw him. I saw the drive. I saw his vision. I knew he was somebody that had, just like you, he had that kind of background as well. You know, the humble beginnings, he had it as well. So he had a vision too for himself that, okay, it's going to stop here. I'm going to do better. And, you know, of course, he had older ones that were already, you know, doing well in life. You know, they were already doing well. So he could not even go beyond the standard they had already set for the family. But he also had his own personal vision that, okay, I'm not going to allow my children go through this. There were certain things that, you know, now we would laugh about certain things and I'll be like, you safe. You have gone through life, you know. We'll just laugh about those things. And he had that vision for himself and he was like, okay, I'm not going to be there. But sometimes when he talks about these things, I'm just like, I didn't experience those things firsthand. But at the same time, I know that for a relationship to thrive, you need money. And you need money from both sides. Like, money also brings self-respect, just like you said. It brings respect. It helps the relationship. There's certain argument that you would not have because both of you are earning. Do you get? Not because one person is earning more or one person is there are just certain arguments, there's certain fights that you will not have in your relationship if both of you are earning. regardless of how much, you know. So I also knew that I wanted to remove those blocks from the relationship. I did not want certain disrespect. I did not want certain, I just wanted us to have a healthy relationship that we would worry about other things, but not money. You know, just as you said that, because there was money issue for you when you were growing up, it limited you so much that you didn't even see what you had inside. Do you get? So let us just eliminate money issue.
Yeah, that's true.
That one I can control. I know that if I maximize my potential, I could earn. You know, that one that I can control, that one I can at least try my best. I have something to solve that problem. Let me do it so that we can remove that issue from the marriage. It's not going to be a case of, okay, we are having money issues, we are having arguments that is because, okay, so both of us are not earning, you know. I wanted to be able to eliminate that from the equation. So yes, that vision is a big deal for both parties, you know, much more than marrying rich or this. Where you are going is very important. Where you are going is very important. At least you know the person is going somewhere. The person has plans. Yeah, and you also know that there are a lot of advantages to marrying a rich man. Like, you get to live comfortably, you get to have a good start than a lot of all your mates or your friends or whoever you get. You know, you have the financial base where your friends are still trying to gather capital to be able to do a business. You already have the capital in a man, you get, and you're able to scale higher. There are a lot of advantages that come with marrying a rich person. However, there are also disadvantages. Like, there are some arguments you're going to have, because imagine he's been a person who has always been comfortable. He does not need to work for money. You have to work for every penny in your life. There will come a time that you start to see him as maybe being a very lazy person, but you not forget that the way the both of you see life is different. You get, you know, there will be numerous issues. There will just be that discrepancy, especially if you are just sitting down there and your husband is a hardworking man, is bringing in the money. When we disrespect, no enter inside. When who do you think you are? No enter inside. When will you are nothing without me? No enter inside. You get. So I always say that even if you know, see, obviously there are lots of things that a woman contributes in marriage that goes far beyond money. Like, no amount of money can ever buy that thing that she contributes in the family. But I'm just saying that when one person is down, do you have skills that you can also monetize to be able to help, you know, the other person up, you know, even your children and all of that. And, you know, one thing that we also don't like to talk about, you know, is that this life, we don't have control. Nobody knows how long we all have to live. You know, what breaks my heart a lot, and I've seen it happen more than twice, is children that all they've known is comfortability. They've had everything, you know, because their dad was rich, their dad was a provider and everything, and suddenly their dad died. Because you cannot stop. Death is inevitable. What happened if that person who is providing for your family died? What is the plan B? What do you have? What can you fall back on? It will be bad for you to have everything and be so comfortable that if, God forbid, something happens, you are left with your children and then they move from private school to public school. I have heard of so many of such cases. And that could have been my own reality in my family also. Because, let me just probably use this to round up, because my own mom was literally the one who raised us from pre-teens till when we all decided to become independent. And that was one of the reasons why I became independent quickly, because I really needed her to focus more on my brother so that, you know, some of the burdens would be lifted from her. But there was a time when she just got married to my dad, when my dad asked her to quit her job because what are you working for? Stay at home, you know, and be the housewife. My mother refused, because my mother is she's the one who actually taught us how to be independent. So she refused to do that. And when my father died, in short, before he died, he wasn't that involved. But I'm just saying that eventually he died. What would have happened to us if my mother had nothing she was doing? I had a lot of friends in secondary school it's beyond both of you. Exactly.
Think of your children also. What would happen to us? I can't even imagine what would have happened, because I know what would have happened to us, you know, if she had not had her job, she had not kept her job. And you know, it's civil service, so the longer you stay, the higher your promotion and all of that. And my mom was a very smart woman. She never missed the promotion, like, ever. But if she had stopped her dreams because she wanted to adhere to a man, we would have been the one in trouble. You get. So, because I know how much millions every semester she was spending on my school fees, because I did school in Nigeria. I know how much millions we're paying every year for my school fees. So imagine if she did not, and it's not like we are comfortable or we have the money or anything. But because she had something doing, she was able to provide for us and, take us to a place where we are today. You get. So yeah, anything can happen. So it's really good that you also have something that you're bringing. It goes beyond you. This is not an attack on housewives, okay? I think housewives are the most hardworking people in this world. It's not easy to raise children. Even if you cannot work, make investments. Honestly, do investments. Put money, buy stocks, buy this, buy that. Do something for yourself. Build. Your husband has the money. Take money. Let him give you something. Give real estate developer. Let them develop an estate for you. Be collecting house rent. You get. Just think and invest. Yeah.
So what would be your closing statement for anyone who is torn between making that choice, whether to choose to date or marry rich or to hustle?
Yeah, I think what I would say is hustling. Yeah, hustling is not sweet. Hustling is hard, and I definitely do not subscribe to a lifetime of hustling. There's a time for everything. There's a time to hustle. There's a time to enjoy. There's a time to allow your hustle to work for you. Okay, but that you just want to move from nothing to 1 million, like, I don't think that should be your focus. Okay, I think you should put your hands to work, and if God blesses you with a man who is comfortable, who can provide you with everything you need, then you are blessed. It's an addition to what you already have. When you have that and it's paying you monthly salary, like I said, you use your brain, you invest in things, you do things, making sure that if anything happens to this man today, me and my children will not suffer. Okay, so I don't think you should be sitting down waiting for a rich man to come and meet you. If God did not write your destiny with a rich man, there's nothing you can do in this life that you will marry a rich man. So since you don't know what your tomorrow is, put your hands to work, okay? And until your rich man comes, if you're lucky and your rich man comes, to God be the glory. There's absolutely nothing wrong in marrying a rich man, okay? But just make sure that you are smart, okay? And you have something you're doing or something you can always fall back to. Yeah, that would be my advice.
My closing statement for anyone who is torn between the two is, first of all, just know the stage of life that you are in. Know the stage of life that you're in. For example, if you are, let me just say, if you're at the stage that you still want to experiment, you don't know what you're doing, you're still in that confused state. Yeah. Please, go and take your time and go and think about it. But I believe I'm talking to people who are ready and, you are in a committed relationship now, and you are now deciding whether to choose someone who is really. And I will just say that, first of all, you just need to consider the level or the life that you want to live. You just need to know the kind of life you want to live now, and also the life you want for yourself in the future, the projection. You need to know that. Because I'm saying this because there are some people that no matter what, their own hustle, their own hard work is not even, it's somebody else's enjoyment, it's somebody else's peak. Yeah. Like that's the lowest they can go. It could be somebody else's, peak. That's like somebody else's dream. So just know yourself, know where you're coming from, know what you want, so that you don't end up just settling for just anything because of love, and then issues of life will now come into your relationship, and then you now be like, oh, I married down, or I married up, all those kind of regrets. Just know yourself and know what you want. That's number one for me. And then again, things change in life. That's another thing for me. Things are not always constant. What we hope for sometimes, what we dream for, sometimes it doesn't always happen that way. What you wish for, it takes time for it to manifest. So there are times that, okay, you want certain things in a relationship. You could see that, okay, this person is there, but it needs you to just work hard a little bit for you people to get there, for you people to get to that point of what they call it now, for that point of reach. If you, that's like if you are choosing to hustle hard, it doesn't mean that you forever hustle. Just like you said that, you know, it's a temporary something that you eventually get to that point of being rich. Of course, people that are rich today, they were in that position of hustling at a point before they got to that moment of riches. So if you decide now to choose somebody who is, you know, working, you decide to hustle with somebody, just know that it's always going to be temporary. It's
Yeah.
what is the most important, as you mentioned, is, you know, the vision. You know, is both of you, do you align with your visions? Do you see that where this person is going? Have you seen that this person is not just in this place? And some people, some men, some women are contented with certain lifestyle. They are just they are just contented being broke. Some people are contented being poor. Some people have this belief that poverty is satisfaction. Like poverty makes
exactly.
You some people,
it makes you holy.
Some people are just contented. Makes you exactly. Some people are just there, and you are not there. That's not your own vision. So, but when you are both broke, they make you feel like, oh, it's just temporary. But when they have the opportunity to scale up, you still see them scared of scaling up, or they just prefer this comfort zone. Just know and check if both of you, your vision align before you start suffering for nothing. Make sure that your vision aligns, and you know that when the opportunity comes, you know, both of you will, because that's what I see with some people. You'll be like, okay, you that you have suffered this much, you are used to, it's just a temporary something. When the time comes for us to move, we move. What?
Yes,
we move.
Yes.
I think that's going to be the closing statement for me as well. So, yeah. Do us the honors.
Yeah, okay.
Close the conversation for us.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for sticking around. Please leave a comment. If you let us know your thoughts, let's know what you think about it. Do you prefer to marry rich
tell us the
or
highlights.
to work hard?
The highlights for today.
Yeah, and how was it for you? Let us also know. Yes, like she said, what is the highlight? What did you pick from what we said? And if there's any other thing that you'd like us to know, based on your opinion on what we just spoke about. Okay, so yes, until we meet again, which will be the next episode of Truth and Tales. My name still remains Victoria, and this is my co-host
Yemi.
Yay! All right, guys, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.